Hi, this is Jeffrey Rhodes from ExperimentalHomesteader.com, and tonight I am talking about the Haifuan right-hand electronic keyless code door lock. We did receive this item for a reduced price for our honest opinions. All opinions are our own. And with this door lock, you can unlock it with a code, with TM cards, or a mechanical key. Now, let me show you. Okay, this is the box, and inside there is the user manual. There is an explanation of how to reorient the door lock if you need to change it from a right hand to a left hand for both the front and back handles. There is a template. Okay, let's see if I can get, there we go, without the glare. This is a template to use for drilling the holes that you'll need in your door frame and in your door. As far as I can tell, this is pretty much a standard size. So I'm going to be replacing a knob in our door, so it's already drilled and ready to go. So it should be fairly quick and easy and simple, I hope. But it comes with a template, so if you have a brand new door and you're putting this into a brand new door, you use that template. There's directions in the user manual as to how to orient the template, how to position it vertically, so that you put the door knob in the right location. But it's very nice when it comes with the template, so that you can position it right to get it on your door right. Okay, so opening this up, taking out the foam, inside there are two rubber gaskets. These are your waterproof seals that you're going to be putting on the outside and inside handles. This gives a weatherproof seal to protect the inside of the door and the electronics of these doorknobs. Okay, we have the Keypad door lock. Okay, now this does have a data wire that you'll be plugging in. So this wire goes through the hole that you make for the controls, and that's the keypad. This is where you use the TM cards, which it does come with two TM cards. They look like this. Basically, it kind of looks like a battery on a little piece of plastic. And what you do once you've installed this and you've set your code for it, you just put the key, the card near that sensor, and it'll unlock the door for you. So that's one nice way of unlocking this. You can also set codes for individual users. Each user can have a different code, or you can use basically the same codes for multiple users. You can also set one-time codes, so you could, set up a code, give it to someone, and they could get in, one time using that code. Once it's used, then it deletes itself out of the system and is no longer valid, which is kind of nice also. This also comes with two keys, so you can use a key to unlock this as well. So this is a backup in case, because this does take batteries. If the batteries die, you still have a key to be able to get in. And like I said, it does use batteries. It takes 4 AA batteries that do not come with this, so you'll have to get some batteries for it before you install it. Okay, this is the back plate, inside door handle, and this is the inside part of that. I've already put some batteries in this, and it basically just fits together like that. Okay, and your door mechanism attaches from here to the front piece. And this mounts using a couple of screws, so you'll be able to take this off to change out the batteries without dismantling the whole unit, because the actual screws to hold everything together go in different locations. So this actually mounts to the door and holds the faceplate on the door, and then you'll just have this that attaches and can be taken off to change the batteries. Also included in this, down under here, we have all of our hardware for mounting this to the door. This is your actual lock mechanism, and it is adjustable to different sizes, depending on how deeply inset your lock is, or your handles. You can change the positioning so as to have it whichever, however deep inside your door it is. And there's a spindle here. This is the piece that actually attaches. It'll attach here. It'll insert into there. There is a hole through it. You'll line up the hole with these holes in here, and there's a cotter pin that you use to hold that in place. And then this is the piece that goes through the lock, through this part to the inside plate. So you'll be able to, that works it from both sides. And then there are posts that attach onto here to go through to attach the inside plate. So I'm going to install this shortly in our door. I'm not going to show you the entire installation process. I'm going through the different parts right now and sort of how it's going to go together, and then I will install it in the door, and then I will show you the end result. So give me a few minutes and I'll have this installed and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, before I actually go through the installation, I want to show a few more aspects of this. Okay, one, this data cord, when you take it through the door, is actually going to plug into, so it's going to come up through the inside plate and plug into the port here. Okay, and that'll power from these batteries to the faceplate so that you can access the codes and set all your codes for whatever, whoever and whatever you're doing. Now, I'm also going to show you how some of this hardware attaches. I'm going to start with find the right pieces. Okay. Okay, this is the spindle, and this is basically your cotter pin for holding this in place. So what you're going to do, take your spindle, let's See a little hole there? There's a couple holes here. So you're going to insert this and line up those holes. Okay. And then we're going to take this pin and we're going to slide it through that hole. Okay. And that's what's going to hold the spindle in place. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it through this other direction. Okay. Because the door is going to be this direction. And this way I've got this in here and I can let basically gravity do most of the work. But I can also bend this okay. So what I've done is I've spread that apart, okay, and that holds that in place better, okay. And that way that pin doesn't come out and this spindle doesn't come out. Okay. Now the other thing that we're doing is on here we have a couple of basically screws here, and we're putting these extenders onto these screws. Okay. Now these posts are what's going to go through your doorknob or your door frame. Okay. And you're going to the back plate is going to screw into these posts. And this is how you're going to be able to mount this onto the door. Okay. Okay. And we just screw them on there. Okay. And okay. And we have another. This is just a basically double-ended screw piece that just goes into this upper hole, and we screw it into place, and we add this other shaft, and now we have 3 screw shafts that we can mount our faceplate to. Okay. And that's how that'll go once it's on the door. Okay. Now I'll have to take the batteries out of this to get to the one hole. But that's how it'll mount like that. Once you have it on the, through the door. And this is where the what did I do with it? Oh, here there. These pieces here fit over, and they give that nice seal around the lock mechanism, and they'll seal up to the door. So you've got this nice rubber seal to keep all of this safe from rain and weather and everything else. Okay, so I will be back after I get all this installed. Okay, so I have installed this. It did take me a little bit longer than I had planned. One, I had forgotten about the upper pin that I showed you I installed. That meant I had to actually drill another hole through the door, and our door is actually a metal outside, so it took me a little bit longer to drill through this so that I could run that pin through the door. I also had to recess the latch plate here. The other door that or the knob that I took off was not recessed. It was a little bit different setup. Now, something that I did find out when I was installing this rubber gasket can be a little tricky when you're installing it. You want to make sure that as you're installing it that you keep the edging of it up around your handle, your face plate. I had some issues. I had to readjust several times trying to get this, and I actually had to use fingernails to run up along the edge to get it to come out and around so that it would seal properly. Same thing on the inside. It was kind of tricky getting it positioned just right, because not only you put the back plate on there, then you have your actual handle part that also has to go within that little rubber gasket. So it was a little tricky, so watch out for that when you're installing this. Now, as you can see, even though the handle moves, it's actually locked. It won't move the actual latch as you move this. You can move the handle, and this doesn't move. Now, your inside handle, when you move it, it will function. Okay, it moves this. It opens the door. So you can always get out. You just can't necessarily get in. With the batteries installed, as you can see, the keypad lights up. I can enter numbers and access and get the door to open. Okay, so once you've programmed this, okay, you want to set your master code, and the manual goes step by step, explains exactly how to reset the master code, which it gives you the master code to begin with, that it's pre-programmed with, and you'll go in and you'll change your master code and set your master code. Then you can go in and set codes for each person that you want to, or just, for a family, you might just set one code and give it to everybody. And then you just enter your code number and hit the pound key, and that will activate your lock. Okay, so the manual is really good. It gives you step-by-step instructions, not only on changing the master code. It tells you how to set codes for each person, how to delete codes if you need to delete someone. You can also just block if you don't want to actually delete, so that you can program it, give that code to somebody, and then if you decide that you don't want them to have access, you put a block on that number without actually deleting it. There is also a function of you can put in a one-time access code. Basically, as soon as that code is punched in and the pound key is hit, they can open the door and come in, but then it removes that code from the programming. So we had someone living with us at one time. He had home health care personnel. There were times when he was bedridden, and having that type of one-time code that we could have given to that home health care person would have allowed them to access the house that one time, and even though he was bedridden, he might not have been able to get up. They could come in and take care of him, without giving a key, without leaving the house unlocked, and it would be a one-time use. There's also the TM cards that this comes with, and keys. The keys give you, immediate access and opens. So with a key, you can automatically, in an emergency, get in the house. But it also comes with two of these, what are called TM cards. And what you can do is you can program. You put in your master code. You put in the code for an access number, and then you put this over this sensor here, and it'll program to recognize this card. Then instead of putting in numbers, you can just bring this close to the sensor and it'll automatically unlock the door. We haven't programmed these yet. We're not sure whether we're going to use these yet. This would also be something that you could give to someone to allow them access without giving them a code. If you were, say, going on vacation and needed somebody to watch your house, you could program that, give them one of those, and then they don't necessarily have to play with the keypad. They just use the little card and they get access. There's lots of different possibilities. We're still figuring out just what we're going to do with this, but we've put in a couple of codes already to play with it. We have our primary access code so we can get into the house. I also set the master code for it. And so I think we're going to have some fun with this. I think it's a great item. And okay, and so this is how it looks on the inside. I think it looks really nice. And it's a little larger than a normal door handle, but that's okay. It also, I think, is going to be easier at times with grip and a little bit better kind of handicap access. You can use an elbow, an arm, rather than just having to grab a hold of a doorknob. My only concern might be that Charlie might be able to figure out how to jump up and open this door. But that's something we'll deal with if that happens. But yeah, this is a kind of it's a nice door handle, and I think it'll be good for the house. So I like the keypad outside for access. So okay, so thank you and have a great night.